It's official. The physical video game is dead. Sony just dropped an absolute bombshell of an announcement that changes the gaming landscape forever. Starting in January 2028, Sony is officially discontinuing physical disc production for all new PlayStation games. Now, let that sink in for a second. The company that literally built its legacy by mainstreaming the compact disc back in 1994 with the original PlayStation is pulling the plug. If you walk into a store in 2028 to buy a new game, you're not getting an actual disc anymore. You're getting an empty piece of plastic with a digital download code slapped inside. Today, we need to talk about what this actually means because this isn't just about convenience. This is a calculated corporate chess move that completely rewrites what it means to own a video game. If you think this is a good thing for gamers, you might want to stick around because the reality of an all digital future is a lot darker than you think. All right, so let's look at the hard facts. First, so we're all on the same page. Sony's senior director of communications stated on the official PlayStation blog that this shift is a natural direction because general consumer preferences for digital media are completely outpacing physical discs. And to be completely fair to Sony, looking at the raw data they outline, a staggering 85% of all PlayStation game sales in the recent quarter ending in March were entirely digital. Nearly 4/5 of all full game purchases are bought directly through PlayStation Store. Heck, even third-party companies like Capcom are reporting that over 90% of their sales are digital now. Even the massive, highly anticipated Grand Theft Auto 6 is heavily rumored to be shipping its physical retail boxes with a digital download token instead of an actual Blu-ray disc. So from a pure business standpoint, the corporate executives look at those numbers and say, why are we paying money to the manufacturer of plastic? Print artwork, pay for shipping, and let retail stores like EB Games and GameStop take a massive 30% cut of our profits. Digital games carry a nearly 100% incremental profit margin for Sony. By killing the disc, they instantly cut out the middleman and save millions of dollars in production costs. But here's a catch, and the part that has the gaming community absolutely furious. The real issue here isn't the convenience of not having to swap discs on your couch. The real issue is the control. Think about it. How you buy games right now. If a brand new game launches at a massive $110 or $120 retail price, what do? You shop around. You check different retailers. You look for the sales. Or you wait a month and buy it used on Facebook, say, Marketplace or eBay for half the price. When the disk drive dies, the secondhand market dies with it. You can't sell a digital license. You can't trade it in to get store credit for a new release. You can't borrow a game from your mate down the street to see if you even like it before dropping your hard-earned cash. Once physical media is completely gone, Sony has literal monopoly on the hardware you bought. If they want to charge $120 for a digital game, you have exactly two choices. Pay their exact price on the PlayStation Store or don't play the game. There is zero competition to force prices down. People always try to defend this by saying, oh, but Steam went all digital over a decade ago and PC, and it's totally fine. True. But Steam has massive direct competition on PC. If Steam is too expensive, you can buy the game from either Epic Games, GOG, Humble Bundle, or direct developer launches. There are other options. On a PlayStation 6, which is, let's be real, this announcement basically guarantees the PS6 will be a strictly digital machine. There is only one storefront, and that's Sony's storefront. But let's be totally honest with ourselves. For a second, we shouldn't be surprised by this. Look at history. First, it was the movie industry. Blockbuster, video closing down its doors, was the true beginning of the end for physical entertainment. We gave up videotapes and DVDs for the convenience of streaming apps. Then think about your car. Around 2015 to 2017, car manufacturers quietly started ripping out physical CD players straight out of the dashboards to make room for Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. By 2019, CD players were practically ancient history in new cars. The exact same thing happened to desktop PCs and laptops back around 2012 to 2015. They completely stopped and coming out with DVD drives and CD drives because it's all about the corporate cutting. And let's face it, the massive consumer demand just shifted. We see it every single day now with physical cash. More and more people are exclusively using digital wallets, tapping their phones or either smartwatches, and cold hard cash is being pushed completely out of the ecosystem. Sony is just following the exact same corporate playbook. Less manufacturing costs for them, less consumer freedom basically for us. And that brings us to the biggest underlying issue of the digital era. You do not actually own your digital games. When you buy a digital game, you are not buying the product. You are buying a temporary recoverable license to download that software until the platform holder decides otherwise. If you think that sounds like a crazy conspiracy theory, just look at what happened recently. Sony literally told users that due to content licensing agreements, hundreds of purchased movies and TV shows from Studio Canal were being completely wiped from the user libraries. People paid cold hard cash for these movies and they disappeared overnight. At the exact same time as the disc announcement, Sony has also confirmed they are fully shutting down the legacy PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita digital stores over the next year. Sure, they said you can still re-download them, your previous purchases, for the foreseeable future, but we all know what corporate speak means. The foreseeable future always has an expiration date. Once those servers finally go dark forever, decades of gaming history and preservation vanish into thin air. If you have a physical disc, you can pop it into a console 20 years from now, completely offline, and it will boot up. If the server is dead for a digital game, you're left with absolutely nothing. So, knowing all of this, what's the play? What am I personally going to do about it? So, moving forward, I am being way more conscious with my money. I will be shifting my entire mindset. Instead of falling into the consumer trap of hoarding a massive digital library and buying 10 to 20 so games a year just because they're on sale, I'm cutting it down. I'm going to focus on being more of a gaming minimalist, buying just 2 or 3 games a year that I genuinely love, that I enjoy, and I will actually put heavy hours into them. Because at the end of the day, a giant digital library can turn into an empty graveyard overnight. Having a minimal, tightly curated library of games that you actually play isn't just good for your wallet, it's the only way to protect yourself in a world where you don't truly own software. For a lot of long term PlayStation fans, people have been collecting since the PS1 or PS2 eras. This is the final straw. A lot of people saying this decision is pushing them to pack it up and completely move to PC permanently, where storefront options still exist for the meantime. But I want to know what you guys think. Does this news make you reconsider buying a PlayStation 6 in the future? Are you totally fine with an all digital setup for the convenience? Or are you like me and feel like losing physical media is a massive blow to the consumer rights and our options? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to get a massive debate going on this. One where, because it affects all of us, if you enjoy this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel for more gaming tech updates and daily life commentary. Guys, I'll catch you in the next video. See you in the next one. Peace.